Oh yeah. What's happening, Outrage crew? September 5th, 2019. Oh, how you feeling out there? Hope you're feeling just fine and dandy. What's up, Bradley Murray? He says, peace and quiet in my house. The kids are back to school. Oh boy, that's a good time right there, dude. You got some goddamn peace and quiet. I didn't know that, Bradley Murray, how many kids you got? How many kids you got rocking, you outraged pirate out there? Peace up to them. Prosperity and health wished out to you. I'm getting YouTube errors here. Hopefully we're live, we're smooth, we're coming in nice and luscious and buttery smooth for you. I don't know why there would be any kind of problem. It was said it was excellent connection and everything and all of that. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Go fuck yourself, YouTube. Go fuck your mother. Go fuck your mother in her asshole, YouTube. Seems like we're fine to me, dude. Seems like we're fine to me. We're a lot more fine than Joe Biden's fucking Terminator eye. Alright, he seems to be terminating his own candidacy here. Alright, based on his own biological rejection. Alright, in the, in the anticipation of, his termination on the debate stage with Trump. His own body knows, his corrupt criminal mind is telling him yes. But his body is saying no. No, Joe. His body's telling him no, dude. We're going to get into this goddamn article that details all the horrific shit that Joe Biden has undergone physically that I didn't even realize. That that homeless woman on the streets of Hollywood was more prophetic than I knew. Saying Joe Biden was dead, that he'd had a stroke. I didn't know that he had a goddamn aneurysm in 1988. Biden, 76, has long been plagued by health issues. In 1988, he suffered an aneurysm that burst and required him to undergo emergency surgery. Oh my God. My mother actually had an aneurysm. I believe when I was an infant there. But she recovered. She didn't require the intrusive brain surgery. And apparently, Joe Biden has had some horrific brain surgery. All right, that's why his head looks weird. I've always thought, his head looked kind of weird. I thought it was just the Botox and the hair plugs. Are we coming in smooth, ladies and gentlemen? It seems that it says excellent connection again, but the playback looks a little bit laggy on my end. And I'm not seeing any chats in the Outrage crew. Let me know if we coming in smooth, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it was a long, arduous day of Postmates again. Didn't get on stage, much to my chagrin. Alright, I desperately want to get up back there to the fourth wall. I was listening back to some of my recordings. And compiling some ideas to work out on the stage there when I get back. But for now, we just got to hit the goddamn Postmate streets all day long. And somebody threw me a goddamn $50 tip from a La Scala Italian restaurant order yesterday. Somebody tipped the Outrage Chancellor hefty. All right, and another shout out to Front Hole Enthusiast who sent me a lofty donation last night. Very much needed, very much appreciated. I don't know where Heaven is. All right, she's nowhere to be found the last couple of days. All right, she's probably, he's hiding out in the Pussy Eater's basement. The Pussy Eater's mother's basement, excuse me. All right, it's where the Pussy Eater dwells. All right, he's one of those basement dwellers. All right, and I don't imagine it's much like, a cool, like, that 70s show type basement. It's, it's more of an antidepressant fueled kind of, suicidal, focus group type situation, I would imagine. Everybody, sitting around talking about how they want to off themselves. It's all very sad. All right, I don't know where Heaven is. I hope she's doing okay. All right, but we're out here trying to hustle up this rent money. Are we coming through smooth? Are we coming through live, ladies and gentlemen? Chat to me if you hear me. Holla if you hear me, Outrage crew. Oh, we're feeling dandy here on a Thursday morning. Had a very profitable last couple days in Postmates. We're nearing in on that rent threshold. All right, about $400 more. We're gonna cross it. All right, couple more days. I think I can get that rent money by my birthday. My birthday is September 7th, 2019. Well, it's gonna be my birthday's coming up on September 7th, 2019 this year. The Outrage Chancellor was born in 1990. We're gonna be 29. We're on the downhill of my 20s here. All right, we're still getting rowdy. All right, we're gonna continue getting rowdy. We're not gonna stop getting rowdy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's younger than the Outrage Chancellors. Nobody's younger than me. All right, I'm still very youthful. I'm full of exuberance. What up, Rabia's Bear? What's happening? Just check both my eyes, see if no blood has filled them. All right, we're feeling healthy here. Joe Biden, on the other hand. All right, this is what the scene was here. Very scary, very Terminator-like. He's terminating his own candidacy. All right. And he's on that red-eye flight to Loserville. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And it's very sad. Joe Biden, his mind is telling him that he wants to run against Donald Trump, but his body is telling him no. It's not worth it, dude. Just back out now. It's fine. Although, I don't know who I would rather see get trashed by Trump. I don't know if I would rather see Bernie or Joe Biden. Truthfully, I mean, Bernie is a Jewish individual there, but he's seen as an old white male. Same thing with Joe Biden. I think they're ultimately going to end up going with Elizabeth Warren, which is going to be funny enough in itself. Bradley Murray says he doesn't leave the house in September. Bad luck month for him. And if there's bad luck for Bradley Murray, all right, that means bad luck, all right, for the police, all right, who have to keep tabs on him. Rabies Bear says, I kind of remember my 20s, a lot of bullshit. Well, my 20s have been pretty eventful, dude. I moved out to goddamn Los Angeles, all right, after finishing up. In my 20s is when I really started kicking into gear, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. After I figured out I wasn't going to go pro in basketball in my early teens, then I kind of just meandered in my teens and got into goddamn, I wanted to be a professional poker player. I wanted to be, I was playing on, video games all the goddamn time. I was not getting laid at all. And my 20s is when I started kicking into gear, and I failed out of engineering school and really got off the track of momentum that society had set up for me. And I really met myself. I came to grips with who I really was and what I really wanted to do with my life. And started making out a plan for myself. All right, and got a hold of my workout and my diet routine, and made a plan. I wanted to be a screenwriter and a comic, and it kind of all fell into place when I met Kevin Pollard, and he said he was coming out to LA, and Kevin Pollard came out here, baby. We followed suit, and here we are chatting with the Outrage crew. All right, but the 20s have been so goddamn eventful. All right, I moved out here around 2014. So still early 20s, and it's been tumultuous. Every month's been a goddamn struggle to get rent. It's been a struggle to not get my goddamn car towed and parking tickets, but I've had a lot of fun with the women of LA. A lot of crazy hookup endeavors, and a lot of crazy moments in stand up, and a lot of bullshit open mics, and bombing and terrible jokes, but steadily and surely I'm meeting cool people and getting better, and seeing little signs along the way, meeting Joey Diaz at the Fourth Wall. I was just listening back to Joey Diaz used to come to the Fourth Wall with the open mic I go to all the time, and he, before his last Netflix special on the Degenerates, his 30-minute special, he came in, and he was coming there for like 3 or 4 months. He would just show up randomly, and then one night he had 6 slots marked off on the Fourth Wall shit of the 5-minute slots, and so Joey came in there, and we had like 40 people packed in that tiny fucking strip mall room in the Fourth Wall, dude, and god damn it, he fucking rocked that room, dude. It was so good, dude. He was talking about all kinds of shit, stories from his childhood, how people didn't used to snitch, and how his mom would chase people with knives if they threatened him, and all this shit with Terry Crews getting his dick grabbed, and how he had sympathy for the gay dude who just wanted to grab Terry Crews' dick because he saw him in the Old Spice commercial, and just his room riffs about the situation. There was one girl in there. He's like, you'll be lucky to get alive out of here. You'll be lucky to get out of here alive. I know these goddamn savages around here, and if there's an earthquake in here, who the fuck knows, He tore that fucking room down, and I got to see him in a tight little fucking, open mic room for 30 minutes, just go the fuck off. And a couple days ago, I met Bert Kreischer in Beverly Hills. He was super supportive, and hanging around some of the best amateur comics in the LA scene at the Fourth Wall there. And yeah, it's been a goddamn adventure in the 20s out here in Los Angeles. All right, a lot of psycho fucking roommates, What's up, Don Morgan? He says Bernie's going to be the one if the DNC doesn't fuck him over. Well, I don't think the Democratic Party is going to put all of their bets on a socialist. I don't know. They might. I don't know. This might be the year that Bernie gets his chance because, the hashtag squad, the, retarded group of individuals that are coming up in Congress, they're heavily, they're extremely leftist. They're very socialist. They're very insane. So that seems to be the new crop of the ideological wave that's coming into the left wing. The new stuff is the old stuff. Oh, we're taking it back to, Soviet Russia on the left wing, but they're progressive. All right, we're progressing to, a big giant government and redistribution of wealth, and hasn't it been tried before? They don't care. It's rebranded now as liberal and progressive. Oh, it's cute now. All right, we put a cute little face on it. It's a cute old Jew, Bernie Sanders, and, cute little bug-eyed, Mexican woman named AOC. And, oh, my God, isn't it fun? Isn't it innovative? Oh, socialism. Yes. Stalin and Mao, they just did it wrong. And Karl Marx, I mean, you know, he did it wrong. And so we're just going to do it right this time. And so this might be the year that they make their attempt at socialism, because the party is going so hard left that they might give Bernie a shot. Don Morgan says, bro, don't use that squad shit. That's 50-year-old Fox viewer talk. They call themselves the squad, dude. What are you talking about? They call themselves the squad. They named themselves, dude. Don Morgan says, do I have any regrets? No. No, sir. All right, we're out here living that life. Maybe I should have paid my parking tickets before they hunted my car down in my neighborhood and towed it. You know, saved a lot of money, but, you know, what are you going to do? We're trying to pay the rent. We're trying to pay the bills, dude. We got priorities. Rabies Bear says he's got a crazy bitch that's fucking with him. Well, dude, get yourself some home defense weapons and, you know, and stand pat. What up, Raw Dog? Don Morgan says, I regret not fucking this one girl before I graduated. Her ass got huge in a year. Yeah, I do regret not fucking this one, like, super fine white chick that was really into me when I was, like, 15, 16, 17, around that time. Because, like, I knew her when we were both 14 and we were, had class together and whatnot. And her name was Brooke. Oh my God, she had a fat ass. And she was like 5'9", 5'10". She was tall, but she had a big old, just ridiculous white girl ass. And she would send me pictures of the ass and yoga pants and short shorts and everything. And oh my God, it was feisty. But she moved away right freshman year of high school. And so we stayed in contact in the AOL Messenger. And one night we went to the movies. Terrible date. You know, I got driven by my parents to the goddamn movies. I met her at the movies. We saw the Bourne, it was the second installment in the Bourne Identity series. And I was just making jokes about Matt Damon the entire movie, and we ended up making out once. And then I had nowhere to take her back to bang. There was no, you know, banging domicile. I was driven there by my goddamn parents. I wasn't driving yet. And so we didn't end up doing anything, dude. And then I on my trip back to Oklahoma recently, we actually matched on Bumble. And it was kind of funny and kind of sad at the same time. Because we just, you know, laughed, you know, back and forth that we matched. And then shared some, you know, some small talk, and that was about it. Because she has, you know, multiple kids now, and she's blown up to, you know, Michelin woman status. All right, the rest of her body has, you know, fattened up just like her ass used to be. All right, so the rest of her body caught up with the, you know, with the fat ass there, and it's very sad. All right, her face she was taking selfies. Her entire face was, you know, was filling up the frame, dude. Very sad. All right, but I should have banged her when she was smoking hot. But yeah, I don't regret not getting laid until I was 20, because when you're fucking in your teens, there's just too much shit that can go wrong, dude. You don't want to get that unplanned teen pregnancy and then have that halfway unwanted kid posing on Facebook when you're, you know, just anchoring you down to your hometown and relegating your dreams to non-existence. Raw Dog says Joey Diaz was a human vacuum from what he says. Oh, you talking about the cocaine? Yeah, dude. He was going off the goddamn rails with the cocaine. Yeah, not advised. Not advised behavior. All right, but if I do get some disposable income, I would like to, occasionally dabble in it because I do have self-control when it comes to substances. I can dabble and I can pull back when it's not benefiting me because I have principles and I have goals for Western civilization, and when things aren't benefiting me, I pull back. And so every now and then a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of sprinkle of it, all right, it'll wake you up, all right, and that's why I've taken Adderall once, like legit Adderall, once or twice, I think. And it's kind of similar to good cocaine, where it's 11 o'clock at night and you feel like it's 9 o'clock in the morning and you just had a full night's rest and you're just like, oh, yes, I can't wait to do shit. And you're just energized as fuck, dude, and you can't wait to get shit done. I love that feeling. But for right now, all right, we're on the low-budget beers. All right, we're out here collecting this goddamn rent shekels. All right. PayPal.me/Outrage TV if you want to contribute to the rent fund here. I did get a nice fat tip on the Postmates there. I got a successful shift in. And yes, they did hunt my car. Once you get more than 5 parking tickets in Los Angeles and that are unpaid, they will go on a hunting expedition for your car. All right. This was back when I didn't have now I have a parking spot in the lot of this complex. But I was living in this same complex for the first stint before I moved out and then came back. But I didn't have a spot in the lot at that point. And so I was just going on street parking, and I had a fake parking permit that the guy who lived in the unit previous to me gave to me. And I just kept going on, and I would scan the parking permit, rearrange the dates on when it expired in Photoshop, and then print it out and get it laminated and hang it in my car. I had that goddamn fraudulent parking permit, and that worked for a while until the parking maids, the meter maids, got wise, all right, to my nefarious behavior, and I started getting the parking tickets. And so there's this area that has open street parking that's like a mile and a half down the road. Well, it's like a mile. It's like a mile down the road, down on La Brea, and dude, I had my car parked there overnight, and I had the unpaid parking tickets, and they hunted my car down. That was somebody's, afternoon endeavor, all right, was cruising around Hollywood looking for my goddamn car in within a fucking 2-mile radius of my apartment complex. What up, front hoe? But yeah, dude, I was just giving you a shout out for the donation last night. Very much appreciated. Very helpful to the rent fund here. What's up, AJ? Rabies Bear says she's doing it CIA style. She's in some group. I refuse. Think Aryan Brotherhood. Rabies Bear's stalked by a Nazi woman. All right, that's very scary. Bradley Murray says, car towed, LOL, my cars have been crushed by police. Nice 2-ton Audi S3 and a Jag XK, bro, and they sent me pictures of it. Oh, dude, there's such an adversarial relationship between Bradley Murray and the British police there, dude. They probably secretly love you. All right, you're giving them some action. You're livening up their night, dude. I keep getting errors from YouTube that my streaming is not smooth. What the hell? Don Morgan says all them beers get you a couple grams of weed, man. Well, I just enjoy the beers. I'm a German individual. I mean, I know there's something about I know Don Morgan is a black man. There's something about black physiology that responds better to weed, I think. Because I'm German and Dutch. I mean, I got a little bit of Dutch in me, so every now and then a little puff of the weed is fine, but for me, I never understood, like, you know, Snoop Dogg saying, oh, relieving the stress. The weed relieves the stress. Weed stresses me out. Because I smoke it and then I just have a torrent, like, rapid, you know, stream of thoughts of all the shit I should be doing and I'm not doing. And it just gives me a bunch of goddamn anxiety. And beer just smooths me out and lets me engage in the activity I'm trying to engage in. It's laggy as fuck. I don't know why. It says I have excellent connection. We're plugged in and everything. We're hardwired. Alright, it seems to be smoothing out now. Yeah, I don't like... What I do like is a little bit of weed before I go to bed. And then I'll lay in a pillow and come up with a bunch of ideas for the next day. But actually engaging and trying to be creative and trying to be lucid and trying to be, you know, in the moment, weed is terrible for me. Unless I'm drinking a little bit of beers too. Unless I'm drinking too and then I get engaging on a little bit of that mixing. You know what I'm mixing. You know, you mix a little bit, you smooth the weed out with the beers, you just one hit. I'm that one hitter quitter, dude, with the weed. But yeah, we had a fruitful Postmates day out here. All right, and I checked the Drudge Report in the middle of the day, and I saw Joe Biden's red, creepy fucking eye. And I was looking at this news article that's linked on the Biden Terminator eye thing here, and it was detailing some of his health history, which is actually insane. I hadn't seen this. Biden, 76, has long been plagued by health issues. In 1988, he suffered an aneurysm that burst and required him to undergo emergency surgery. So that's like a blood vessel in your brain that bursts, I guess. Then the then senator was so close to death that a Catholic priest began preparing to administer the sacrament of last rites. Well, they should have had a Baphomet there. Months later, surgeons clipped a second aneurysm before it burst. Oh my God. Biden then took a 7-month leave from the Senate following the surgery. Describing the operation, he once said, quote, they literally had to take the top of my head off. Oh my God. Jill Biden, apparently his wife, said in her recently released autobiography that she feared her husband would never be the same. Our doctor told us there was a 50-50 chance Joe wouldn't survive surgery, she wrote. He also said it was even more likely that Joe would have permanent brain damage if he survived. And if any part of his brain would be adversely affected, it would be the area that governs speech. Well, there you go. There's the Biden gaffes explained. All right. And just like Hillary, all right, when you're getting ready to go up against Trump, all of a sudden your health problems start compounding. All right. You start having brain freezes. You start, coughing. You start, having horrific health problems. And it just all goes south because the pressure's on, baby. Oh, my God. The pressure's on. And that makes his gaffes even more sad and pathetic. All right, the man is not fit to run. Don Morgan says it's not a black thing. You just can't handle that dank, boy. Well, I smoked weed for a long time, starting at like 17, and I was smoking heavy. Me and my friends back in Oklahoma, we would smoke a lot of goddamn weed, too much weed. And I got acclimatized to it, and even then, it's not good for my thinking process. It doesn't help me in any way, really. What it does help me do is reevaluate things and formulate a plan for the next approach at something. Like if I'm stuck, like in a screenplay I'm writing, if I'm in writer's block, if I don't know a way out of a scene, if I don't know the next scene I'm going to write, a little bit of weed, I can take a step back and reevaluate. But the beers get me locked and loaded. Fronto says, I'm drinking some Dalmore 12-year. What is that? What is Dalmore? Sorry for the interruptions, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if it's laggy here. I don't know what the hell is going on with the goddamn internet. Bradley Murray says, I was smoking bongs at 9. I just tried to Google search and it didn't work. What the hell is going on with the internet? Yeah, Google is straight up not working for me. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're hardwired in. I have no idea what the goddamn problem could be. I haven't been home all day, so I haven't been fucking around. I was opening up all these articles I was going to talk about, and everything was loading fine. Sorry about the lag. If you're getting it, hopefully it'll smooth out. But right now the internet straight up isn't working. I can't even Google shit. I just paid the bastards fucking $70. Spectrum. Bradley says, Don, I would bend you over my knee and smack your ass. Oh, AJ says, is heaven nearby? That could be the problem. No, heaven is nowhere to be found. I don't know where heaven is. Hopefully she's doing fine out there. All right. Hopefully she's fending for herself out there, probably in the Pussy Eater's basement. And Don and yes, Aaron Freeman, Joe Biden definitely has brain damage. All right, it's not hard to agree with. All right, we got the diagnosis right here. Aaron Freeman said, "What's my excuse then, Nick? I forgot what I was talking about that he was referencing." Don Morgan says, "Nick, how you in LA and don't have a wealthy sugar mama? It's 2019. They probably got a sugar mama app." Well, I did have an opportunity at a sugar mama. All right. I met her on the dating app. She was a 38-year-old Asian woman. Judging by her crazy activity, she was probably Korean. I didn't investigate. All right. But she was probably, a 6 at best. And a 38-year-old 6. All right. But she did invite me to the Beverly Hills Intercontinental Hotel one night, and the Outrage Chancellor cruised up there and valet parked his Outrage hatchback, and I went in there, dude, and the goddamn lobby was so immaculate. They just had chandeliers dripping and a fat just wine bar there, and she came down. We had these big old fucking ridiculous red wine glasses. We were sipping, fine red wine and everything. We were just getting all flirtatious and whatnot. She was a 6, so I was like, all right, well, okay, let's get drunk and let's go through with this. And she does seem to have a lot of money, but she was apparently a lawyer, and she was traveling. And she invited me up to the room, dude, and we started getting it in. And dude, I mean, I can handle you being a 6, but the sex got to be really good. All right. You got to have some skills. All right. She kind of just laid there and took it. And then she also had this weird thing where she was like, she was trying to like get extra into it to turn me on, and it was actually turning me off. She was doing this weird like screaming thing where like I'd be hitting it and she was like ah ah ah. I think she was actually Vietnamese. All right, and I was having Vietnam flashbacks, and I of course did not serve in Vietnam, but I was having ancestral, flashbacks. All right, as if I was conquering a village, as if I was raping and pillaging. All right, and it just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good connection sexually, and it was no good, dude. She was just it was awkward. All right, and but she did buy me breakfast in the morning. It was the immaculate breakfast at the Beverly Hills Intercontinental there, and I did not respond to her text. And I didn't make it happen a second time. But that was that sugar mama opportunity. I just, I expect, you're a middle-aged woman. I expect you to have some fuck skills. Come on. Some extravagant blowjob skills or something, dude. Weird screaming thing. Did she consent to this sex? Of course. I got that positive consent on the dating app before I even went. But I did miss my sugar mama opportunity, and that's one thing I regret. All right, I could have used that sugar mama money to not have a roommate. All right, that would have been beneficial. All right, I need a sugar mama to pay at least half of my rent and just not live here. And come here, once, twice, or 3 times a month and just get her fuck on and leave me be. But yeah, that's the second Asian chick I've ever been with. The first one was tremendous. She was Chinese, and I met her in the bookstore of Oklahoma State University. She was on that exchange student program. All right, and she had an unpronounceable name. All right, but she just called herself Faye. All right, she was a very nice girl. All right, she's the type of girl who, in the middle of sucking your dick, will give the Asian girl, peace sign, like she's taking a selfie. But I ruined it with her because I was also hooking up with multiple other girls and she thought we were exclusive. And then one time I suggested to her that, that we have a threesome. And I kind of framed it as a joke. And she immediately started tearing up and crying. And me seeing how vulnerable she was and how hurt she was, I started tearing up and crying. The joke went bad, all right? The joke went bad, all right? Sometimes you bomb, all right? And I bombed real hard on this joke. And we were in her apartment, and she had roommates, and they were out, and we were cooking an Asian-inspired meal, all right? I think she was making fried rice and eggplant, all right? Her specialty, all right? And so we're both crying. It's very pathetic. And then at that very moment, her roommates came home from wherever the fuck they were out. They came home, and we had to, I was like, drying up our fucking tears there, and it was pretty much over after that. So, and for anybody who says I'm not empathetic, all right, the white species were very empathetic. She was very hurt by the threesome proposal there. And that's the thing. As a guy, you can never propose the threesome. All right? You gotta be hooking up with a freaky enough bisexual girl, all right, who also has freaky friends. And you gotta let them propose it. It's gotta just naturally, organically come about. You can't suggest it as a dude. Because it's just going to be taken offensively either way. What's up, the globalists or Jews? Do not say my shoulders are small, dude. Did you see the street interviews? All right, my shoulders, I mean, from this angle, my shoulders look small because I kind of have a chicken-shouldered stance when I get into my arguments on the Outrage cast. All right, I get into a chicken-shouldered stance. All right, but, you know, when I spread out on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, all right, I think you can see my width and my breadth. All right, and you can see the thickness that the Outrage Chancellor has cultivated. And unfortunately, I wanted to get in the gym today, but I just have no goddamn time. I got to get out and do Postmates all goddamn day. And I have no time or money for the goddamn post-workout fuel, or to get in the gym for 2 hours, or to take the post-workout nap. All right? There's the post-workout meal, then there's the post-workout meal nap. All right? That's very, very required if you want to cultivate some goddamn musculature. We're doing another high life, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the stream smooths out. Sorry for any lagging, but we're going to get into it. We got some memes to look at. I'm going to show you guys my fantasy football draft that I did with the Fourth Wall crew here. Let's get into it. Let's take my phone off of the Wi-Fi. Oh, my phone's not even on the Wi-Fi. I was going to take my phone off of the Wi-Fi. Usually it connects. I was like, maybe that's sucking some goddamn bandwidth away, but apparently not. The globalists are Jews. Is that Robert Rydell? Robert Rydell changes his goddamn name every stream. He says, I had this one that was wild. I was only 25 and didn't really know what I had. She had no limits. Well, there you go, dude. Sometimes you run into them, you know, in your mid-20s, all right, in the height of your virility. All right, but the main thing is to not pursue it. And that's the hardest thing, especially when you're, you know, all jacked up on the height of your testosterone in your 20s there. You end up, you know, on those booty call texts, you end up looking thirsty as hell. All right, looking to get that hookup situation. And over time, you learn to play it cool. Globuster Jew says, Nick doing blow? Is that what you thought I meant by the high life? This is the high life, dude. Although I do wish I had a pinch of blow. I'm very, very tired from, you know, going around and postmating all day. Not very tired, but, it, you know, you're all ramped up driving for fucking 10 hours. You know, your reptilian brain is activated for goddamn 10 hours of the day. And it feels good to come on here and hang out with the Outrage crew and have a few beers. Fronthole says, I came home from work one day. This Asian chick I was with gave me a cold Heineken and then sucked me off. No words, just action. I still think of that. Oh, my God. Those little moments in life, dude. Those little moments in life. Oh, my. And I hesitate to tell this story because my mom said she listened back to the stream. And she heard the story about me almost becoming a porn star. And she said she almost threw up in her car. But it's fine, dude. We're being truthful. All right, we're not going to let, you know, my wholesome parents' perspectives hinder the Outrage Chancellor's honesty. All right, so the one moment I think back to in hookup situations, there was this 19-year-old chick that was black, Korean, and I think Irish. And she had these crazy eyes and this light skin color, and she was a dancer. And she had this just trim little fit frame and a little booty. And oh my God, she was so sexy. And so we were hooking up on and off, and I met her on the dating apps or whatever. And I would pick her up from her grandma's house where she lives. She had a goddamn raucous, crazy ass family. And one night she didn't feel like having sex or whatever, and I was aggravated and whatever, and she ended up sleeping over because we were drinking and whatever. And she wasn't feeling it the night previous, and I was kind of annoyed. And so I was taking her home in the morning, and she was complaining that her stomach hurt, that her stomach was upset. And so I'm driving her home, and we're driving down La Cienega Boulevard, one of the main big streets in LA. And I'm going about 45. We're driving her home, and she's still complaining that her stomach hurts. And so she's sitting in the passenger, and she unbuttons her jeans. And I don't think anything of it. She unbuttons her jeans. She's giving her stomach some room, I guess, or her stomach's upset, whatever. And then she's like, she asked me if I could rub her stomach. And I was like, okay, that's weird, but I'm going to go with this. And I started rubbing her stomach, and then she was just giving me this look. And then she pulled her pants down more. And she opened up her panties, and she was giving me this look. And so I started inching down. All right. And then I started, I started playing that goddamn strumming action down below. All right. I was playing that, that Eric Clapton. I was getting in there with that Eric Clapton. And then she was getting all into it, and we're going, almost 50 miles an hour down La Cienega, and she's looking at me, and then she's all fired up and turned on, and she's like, "What are you gonna do about this? What are we gonna do?" Oh my God! And then she said something. What'd she say? She said, "I want you to fuck me," or something. We pulled off on a side street, and I stopped on the curb, and we started fucking in the car, and I didn't realize until, halfway through the fuck session that we were parked in front of a church. All right? And there were people walking past on the sidewalk, and we didn't give a goddamn, dude. We didn't give a goddamn, and then I drove her back to her grandma's house. All right, tremendous. We're getting nostalgic about our 20s, ladies and gentlemen. I saw this, it made me laugh. There was a Chicago Sun-Times article, apparently, that's trying to, exonerate Jussie Smollett. Here's the headline, Chicago Sun-Times. Jussie Smollett's lawyers. Even if the actor faked attack, it was cops' call to investigate it so vigorously. And then he's dressed like basically the faggot Morpheus here. He's faggoty Morpheus. All right, he's got a goddamn, super dramatic pea coat and the gloves and the aviator shades, dude. Oh my God, the cops are so vigorous. Pursuing this obviously faked hate crime where he tried to demonize white people and Trump supporters with his retarded activity with his goddamn, Nigerian bodybuilding brother threesome partners there that he had obviously been railroaded by. All right, and they were trying to spice up the sex life by putting, he's like, you know what? Well, it would be really hot if you guys, all right, if you guys put on MAGA hats and and attacked me in the streets when I least expected it and pretended to lynch me. Oh my God, that would be the hottest thing ever, And then they decided to use the whole thing to try to demonize Trump. And it all backfired, dude. But, he needs a little bit of jail time. He needs some legitimate repercussions for that goddamn stunt. Because he's going to end up getting acting roles in Hollywood again. Some of these leftist cretins out here are going to, continue to just give him work. Because, oh my God, he's fighting the good fight. Don Morgan says all teenage hoes live with their grandmother. Globus or Jew says, would you talk to women if there was no sex? I don't see why you would. I mean, maybe you want an overly emotional, less rational perspective on things. I don't know. That didn't seem to hold a lot of value in the outraged chancellor's existence. Don Morgan says he didn't try to demonize Trump supporters. He just tried to capitalize off already existent hate. So, because people hate Donald Trump, that makes him demonic? Doesn't quite follow. Just because people hate somebody doesn't mean they're demonic. And yes, he obviously tried to demonize Trump supporters by ascribing a crime to them that they would never ever commit, but only in the leftist fantasy land of hyper, Nazi-fied racism would that ever happen, that Trump supporters in MAGA hats would be walking around Chicago looking to lynch a gay black dude. You were talking about hate from Trump supporters, dude? Okay, so Jussie Smollett tried to capitalize off already existent hate. Do Trump supporters hate gay people or black people? What? The fuck does that even mean, dude? Nothing Trump has done has been negative for black people or gay people. It's a fake leftist narrative that Trump supporters hate black people. Raw Dog says if it weren't for women, I'd shower once a week. Well, I would still do the upkeep, dude. I would still do the upkeep. All right, I enjoy a shower. Don Morgan says, as bad as Obama was, his supporters didn't shoot up Walmarts and commit hate crimes. Well, the El Paso shooter was a leftist. He had Trump hating shit on his Facebook, I thought. Like talking to a Caucasian brick wall. Dude, I am the Caucasian brick wall. Goes Juice says, without women, this would be paradise. Well, you know, we enjoy women. I saw, oh my God, I saw this chick in Beverly Hills today on Rodeo Drive. Oh my God. Her ass was unbelievably ridiculous. All right, it was just the waist and then the ass in these goddamn yoga pants. It was unreal. And she was walking around with her friend, and they were all, you know, they were going into all the goddamn, you know, Gucci and all the Prada and the, you know, all these nice ass goddamn department stores and everything. And I tried to holler at them a couple times, and dude, they just looked at me like I was a cockroach. They were like, this motherfucker ain't got no money. Yeah, AJ says Obama supporters have made up fake hate crimes, which is worse because it overshadows real hate crimes. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think hate crimes should be a goddamn distinction. There's crimes, and then, you know, you don't need to tack anything else onto it. Who gives a goddamn? Oh, it's a hate crime. It's just an extra penalty for white people committing crime. Because white people commit so little crime on average, all right, that they have to tack an extra penalty onto the crime, all right, just to chastise the white people. To try to even the score with all of the goddamn black criminality and the Hispanic criminality. You know, that's all a hate crime is. No black people or Hispanic people ever get charged with a hate crime. It's only and forever white people. All right, it's a white man tax. It's a white man crime tax. The hate crime. All right, it doesn't even exist. What's up, G Prime? Do you think a murder is worse if it's a white dude murdering a black dude or a black dude murdering a white dude? I mean, it's murder. White people being the victims of crimes, you never see it being called a hate crime. It's all this one-way racism. That's the racism narrative only goes one way. It's only white people being racist to other groups. And in the identity politics ideology, you can't even be racist to white people because, oh, they have so much power and privilege. So anything goes. They got another fucking billboard in Hollywood. They're doing another Dear White People horrific shit show on Netflix. Open racism against white people. Don Morgan says, my bro knocked a tranny out and got charged with a hate crime. And he's black. Oh, boy. Was the tranny black as well? Or was the tranny white? What up, Dave Kranick? I thought this was interesting. Mr. Ron Paul. I mean, everybody wants to talk shit about Trump. Oh my God, we're getting all these kind of errors of frames dropped. on the goddamn... The internet is fucked up right now for some goddamn reason. Yeah, Google won't even load. Hopefully we're still smooth here. But the internet is doing weird shit right now. But I saw this article. This is the real president we wanted. All right, Trump is not the end all be all. This is the real president we wanted. All right, Ron Paul. Forget the Russians. It's the Federal Reserve seeking to meddle in our elections. All right, because the New York Fed president Bill Dudley came out and said Trump's re-election arguably presents a threat to the U.S. and the global economy. If the goal of monetary policy is to achieve the best long-term economic outcome, the Fed officials should consider how their decisions will affect the political outcome in 2020. So, oh my God, yeah, Donald Trump is part of the deep state. He's part of the, political complex. But, oh my God, the Federal Reserve is against him too, along with the CIA and the FBI and all the media. They're all against him. Oh, but he's not an outsider president. Even the Fed is trying to sabotage him. Oh my God, represents a threat to the U.S. and the global economy. How about Bernie Sanders? Trying to institute these goddamn taxes on rich and successful people. The people that innovate, the people that create the technology and finance the technology that we all benefit from. Oh, let's tax the success. And subsidize the goddamn, slovenly behavior. So Ron Paul goes on this, I won't play the video. It's like 4 minutes long, but he just goes into talking about how the Federal Reserve is totally illegitimate. And, that the U.S. dollar has been devalued 99% since the Federal Reserve was instituted in 1913 as a totally illegitimate institution. Along with the income tax. The income tax was supposed to be a short-term wartime measure. Turns out it goes on into infinity. And the Federal Reserve was never supposed to happen. Warned against, all right, by the founders, Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson among them. That you should not have a central bank controlling the goddamn economy, and you should not take the dollar off of a tangible monetary source, and just let them create this fake fiat money that's endlessly devalued, and they can prop up the economy and create all these bubbles and booms and busts, and manipulate it into infinity. And he says. He also says the Federal Reserve was created through legislation, and it can also be abolished through legislation. That's the president we should have had. But Ron Paul just doesn't have enough testosterone. He's not a shit talker. All right, he doesn't know how to punch back against the media like Donald Trump did. If we had Donald Trump's shit talking ability with Ron Paul's principles, that would be the only president that would be worthy of the goddamn office. But that person doesn't exist. All right, unless you're talking about the outrage chancellor. Unless, I turn 35, the same year that AOC turns 35. If she decides to run for president, all right, I will continue to grow the outrage cast. We will have grown to critical mass by that point, and I will throw my hat into the ring. I will run against AOC to save Western civilization. Because I got the dragon energy and I got the arguments. I love Ron Paul. He's just so goddamn low energy. Raw Dog says we need a zipperhead president. Oh my God. If you mean a president that's been run over by a tank, maybe. I would support a dead president. All right, I would support a president on life support. Let's have a president that's currently in a coma. All right, that would be the perfect president. A president that's in a coma that could not do anything. Don Morgan's questioning whether Trump has testosterone. Well, he's 70 plus years old. I think he's like 74 years old. And he's got the energy of about 10 men. All right? And he's married to Melania Trump and he bangs porn stars, dude. What do you think's going on there? Raw Dog says, so Ron's a pussy. Well, he's not a pussy. He's very low energy. All right. He needed to do a lot more squats. He needed to eat a lot more steak in his lifetime, and it just didn't happen. But he's very intellectual. He's very in on all the goddamn libertarian arguments. Don Morgan says, Republican farmers be like, I'm not voting for no socialist. I receive subsidies from the government and no one ever helped me. No free stuff for these moochers. Yeah, I'm not saying that, that people receive, I don't think anybody should receive government subsidies. I'm a goddamn anarchist. You keep trying to paint me as some Republican and it's just not true, dude. Don Morgan says, Trump has been accused of rape by a 13-year-old girl and you still support him? Well, you've been accused of raping AJ's dog. You still haven't faced those accusations. I mean, it says a lot about, you that you won't even face these accusations of the bestiality and the dog rape. It's terrible, dude. Some people think about, think that, we should have innocent until proven guilty, but, as far as I'm concerned, you're a dog rapist. G Prime says Trump is fueled by the Miss Universe contestants' lips wrapped around his dick. Oh my God. He made them smart investments, all right? He was in on that Miss Universe. And now since Trump has left the Miss Universe contest, all right, we have transgender women running in it. It's all very gay, dude. And with that, I'd like to present my fantasy football team. All right, that I drafted in the fourth wall fantasy football league, ladies and gentlemen. A bunch of goddamn crazy comics. All right, we had a draft the other night, and I'm liking my squad. I had the second overall pick. I got Mr. Alvin Kamara there, the goddamn pass catching back extraordinaire, and this is 12 team point per reception. All right. And I paired him with Drew Brees. Even as old as he is, all right, he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns to Alvin Kamara. All right, my weak points are my running back 2 and my tight end here. I had Marlon Mack, all right. I got him in the 4th round. He's going to get he's going to get feature back work. And they don't have Andrew Luck now. There's going to be more attention on the running game because Jacoby Brissett, he's not much of a passer, the backup quarterback for Indy. But Marlon Mack, he's getting all the carries in Indy. All right, he's basically a feature back, and he's a young dude. He's got fresh legs. I feel like he can, just through volume, he can contribute. Greg Olsen, he's coming back from injury. If he can stay healthy, all right, I do have him paired with Cam Newton here on the bench for bye-week fill-ins and matchup dependent. And then I got LaShawn McCoy moving over to the Chiefs there. All right, if anything happens to Damian Williams, or he might be in a share situation with Damian Williams, but that's a hell of an offense, and LaShawn McCoy still got a little bit in the tank. All right, and I got Jarvis Landry filling in off the bench behind Antonio Brown and Keenan Allen, them target monsters. All right, point per reception. And then we're going to see what Josh Gordon can do with Tom Brady. All right, Josh Gordon, I think he's only like 28 years old. And I hope he's secretly, drinking liquor and smoking weed again. And I'm hoping for some goddamn 150-yard, 2-touchdown games with Tom Brady. And I'm hoping that Antonio Brown does not implode with, his crazy diva wide receiver activity in Oakland. All right, I just saw he got fined like $50,000 for not showing up to mandatory practices and whatnot. And he was complaining about it on social media. We'll see if the diva wide receiver, he's definitely going to be the focal point of that Oakland offense. They don't have much of a running game. And I think, and Derek Carr, I think he's more than competent enough to get Antonio Brown the rock. So we're going to see what happens in this goddamn league, dude. We're throwing $30 down on it at some point. And we're going to take home that goddamn title. Don Morgan says, why do white people love to see minorities dominate in sports? We just love sports in general. I mean, it'd be nice if white people could goddamn put up some competition, but they just can't. All right? So we got to put up with the black people just dominating, and it's fine. They don't dominate the quarterback position, and that's, because that requires some goddamn playbook study. It requires some audibling. All right, it requires reading the defense. All right, that's why the top 10 quarterbacks of all time are all white except Warren Moon. All right, and Warren Moon, he was very light-skinned. I'm sure he had some Caucasian in that goddamn genetic line there. All right, because white people, we evolved in ancestral Europe. All right, they hunted their food with spears. They were throwing spears at the goddamn woolly mammoths. They had to be accurate. They had to hit the woolly mammoths in the vital organs dead. They had to defend against the pass rush. Or there was probably some aggressive woolly mammoths coming at him, at the ancestral white man. All right, and he had to move in the pocket. He had to stay composed. He had to hit them vital organs, on the woolly mammoth. Might have to call an audible. You never know. You might have to call an audible in the middle of the hunt, dude. And yes, I will relent. There's no white running backs in the top 18 rushers of all time. All right, you have to go to 19 to get to John Riggins. All right, that hillbilly individual who's bashing his head into the line of scrimmage for Joe Gibbs there on the Redskins. I'm talking about top 10 all-time passing yards, Don Morgan. He says Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, there's definitely more than one black in the top 10. All-time passing yards. That's what I'm talking about. Don Morgan says, I don't want the real smoke. I'm going to go up and read some of his comments that he's claiming that I don't want the real smoke on. And we're going to get into it. Man, the internet just is not loading anything. I was going to play some music while I go and piss and get another beer, but apparently I'm not playing any music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I shall return. I'm going to take an outrage piss. I'm going to get some more water. I'm going to get another beer. And then I'm going to go up to Don Morgan's comments and refute them completely. Be right back. Oh, yes. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the internet tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell? This is the first time it's happened in a while. I'm still getting errors from the goddamn YouTube app here. Deep state fuckery is afoot. All right. Oh, what's up, Alan James? Yeah, the internet is so fucked tonight. I'm not even seeing a lot of people's avatars in the chat. What the hell is going on? I paid $70 goddamn to Spectrum. So Don Morgan was up here talking about hate crime statistics, and that he was citing examples of white people being accused of hate crimes. And god damn it, I was just getting ready to look up some goddamn hate crime statistics and the internet doesn't work. Yeah, this is such bullshit. I can't even pull anything up. I can't pull anything up, dude. Jesus Christ. We're talking about the out of Africa theory. What's your goddamn point? We're the first human beings on Earth. Oh my god. We were kings, dude. Dave Krennic says that the blacks were not the first humans on Earth. The Denisovans and Neanderthal were white and only darkened when they migrated to the southern hemisphere. I don't know because I can't look anything up. And I kind of want to go reset my goddamn router, but I don't know if it'll crash the stream. Well, let me try. It probably won't crash the stream totally. It'll probably be interrupted for a little bit, but I want to have some goddamn internet access to be able to look up shit. So let me go try to reset the router here. I shall return and I shall start another stream if it crashes.